Station, this is Houston. Are you ready for the event?
Houston Station, I'm ready for the event.
European Space Agency, this is Houston. Please call station for a voice check.
Station, this is Melanie at ESA ESTEC. How do you hear me?
I read you loud and clear, Melanie. How are you reading me?
Thank you, Andre. I hear you loud and clear. You are now connected with the students in Italy, the Netherlands, Portugal, and Switzerland. They're very excited to hear all about Mission X, so please, let's begin the event.
Giorno, Italy, hola, Portugal, guten Morgen, middag, wat is het? In Zwitserland. En goedendag Nederland, en good afternoon everybody who looks. And this is a great event. This is the start of Mission X, and I'm very pleased to start this off. The coming weeks you are going to be very active, and you're going to learn a lot about how you to stay in shape and the importance of eating well. We are here in the International Space Station, flying around here with 28,000 kilometers, and it means that we are weightless. You know, this is weightless. We can float, we can do everything we want, and the problem is that we don't need our muscles. So that means that in space, to train to be a bit in shape, and I can demonstrate it a bit. What we can do here. For example, we can try to bike. All these things are not really working. We can do something, but we don't move. We cannot tense our muscles. So we have a lot of equipment on board. We have a treadmill to bike on. We have a treadmill to run on, and we have a bike to bike on, and we have also a fitness device. So we can put force against vacuum, so we can even do some kind of weightlifting, although we don't have weight. So on board of the space station, we try everything to stay in shape, because what happens in weightlessness, what happens when you stay in your bed, don't move, it goes the wrong way with your body. You lose muscle mass. We come back with less active muscles. The coordination of your muscles less. We lose bone mass. Very important that you put stress on your bones all the time. And in space we don't do that at all. So we have to weightlifting to put a bit of bone mass in, because otherwise we come back with very brittle bones and with muscles who are very, very weak. That happens anyway, but we do our best to prevent that. But on Earth, these things can happen as well. So it's very important to stay in good shape and do a lot of sports. Now, sports is one thing, but the other thing is, for example, food. We have to eat. Everybody has to eat, also in space, and we have to eat properly. So the ground takes care that we have very good food, that we get very good food in our body. So I brought some examples, and we have to be careful with everything floats out if you open something. So, well, here we have some dried peaches. Now this looks a bit strange, and it tastes good actually. So what we have is a lot of dried food. So we will put in some water. And then after a while you can eat it properly. Things are floating around here. If you're not careful, you lose things. Now this is drink. So we fill these bags with fluid, and then we put the straw in, if I can find it, and then we can drink it. Now, other thing we have is, for example, this is chicken and peanut sauce. So it doesn't look very nice, but this is what we eat. We heat it up. We also have cans, so we heat it up, cut it open, and then we carefully eat it. Now, drinking from a bag is a challenge in itself because the drops that go out that are they escape, and everything escapes. Now even the straw escapes. Oh, there it is. And here, straw goes in, and it has a clamp. Because if you're not careful, the drops come out very easily, and then it gets into contact with electronic equipment, for example. Drop forming, have to be very careful. Now, eating is a challenge, but very important for us. If we don't eat properly, more bone. So we have to eat properly and exercise. Now, this is also something that's important for you, especially for young people. You do a lot of sports and exercise a lot in your youth. You have strong bones, and this is something you get into a rhythm, and it's very important for later. So to keep strong bones and to keep strong muscles, you have to start very early. And in order to get that, you have to eat healthy, and that's what we do here as well. We get healthy food, and we try as much as possible to mimic gravity, so we have strong bones. Now you are going to have an interesting 6 to 8 weeks, and you're going to learn a lot while you're doing all these exercises for Mission X, and it's going to be a great event. And I would say, Mission X, go. I'm ready for your questions.
Thank you, Andre. That was wonderful. We would like to go to Italy. Italy, will you ask Andre your question, please?
Hello, I'm Nicole, and I live in Châtillon. Hello, Andres. Have you had any physical problems in microgravity?
Well, that's a good question, and all the astronauts have some problem when you get into microgravity. It's like if you're seasick or airsick or car sick. It's motion sickness, and a lot of the astronauts have some problem with it. Some mild, some a bit more. So you have to be very careful because your body is not used to microgravity. So you can get a bit sick, but what is also happening is a fluid shift. So all the fluid that's in your legs and in your body right now when you're sitting or standing, in space, it goes up. You have a puffy face, and you get small legs, and you feel like you have a cold. So there are some clear effects of microgravity when you get into space.
Thank you, Andre. It's now the Netherlands' turn to ask a question.
Hello, Andre. This is Frank. I'm here with Nina, and she will ask you a question.
Hello, I am Nina. Were you good at sport as a child, and what is your favorite sport now?
I played a lot of soccer when I was a child, and I started actually with judo. So I was on judo, and afterwards I played soccer. And my favorite sport here on board is the running, actually. I thought that would be the biking, like in Holland I like biking. But here the running is very nice. It's very special because you need some bands that pull you down on a treadmill. And but then you can run. Yeah, so running at the moment.
Thank you, Andre. It's now Portugal's turn to ask their question.
How many hours do you sleep on the station?
Well, sleeping is very important, especially when you're young. You're learning a lot. Your brain needs a lot of time to recuperate, so it's very important to sleep properly. And so here on the station, we also make sure that we get enough sleep. Because if you don't sleep, then in the beginning you don't notice it, but in the end you're getting tired, your memory works less. So sleeping is very important also for astronauts. So we have normal sleeping times on board, which are dedicated, and there we try to sleep. Even if we float, sleeping is a bit strange in space, but we have, say, 8 hours to sleep.
Thank you, Andre. It's now Switzerland's turn. Please ask your first question.
Why did you want to become an astronaut?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. I started with some booklets that my grandmother gave me, science fiction. That was interesting. But later on, I saw also movies and pictures of how it was, and I learned how interesting it was, how challenging, and all the things you could do there. Investigations you could do in the strange environment of space. So it was a combination. It was adventure with rockets and spacesuits. Then it was very beautiful. I wanted to experience that. And I noticed that it was very useful. So I wanted to help humankind a bit further. And I thought, well, this is a nice, a good way to do it. So that's why I became an astronaut.
Thank you, Andre. It's now Italy's turn to ask their question.
Hello, I'm Letizia and I live in Saint-Vincent. How are microgravity conditions simulated during your training?
That's very interesting. Some people can have a room where you can float and be weightless. Unfortunately, we don't have that technology yet, but we simulate indeed microgravity. Actually, we don't simulate it. We have real microgravity for about 20 seconds in planes. We have special planes that fly, so-called parabola, and in that you have 20 seconds of weightlessness. And there you can do already some training, some testing of equipment. Another way to train weightlessness is underwater. Underwater you also float, and you're also in a strange environment where you have to breathe through in a spacesuit, for example. So, for example, spacewalks are trained underwater, deep swimming pools with part of the space station in, and there you have a similar situation as in space. So, small periods of microgravity in planes and underwater.
Thank you, Andre. It's now time to go back to the Netherlands at Space Expo. Your question, please.
Hello, I'm Luc. Did you bring any Dutch delicacies on the space station?
Actually, we have our food that I talked about, what I showed you, but we also have so-called bonus food. And in there, you can put in some nice things that you like yourself or that you want to share with your friends on board. And I brought, for example, Dutch cheese. So I had some nice old Dutch cheese, which was brought up with the Progress cargo ship, which recently docked again. That's the second one. So I have lots of cheese on board, and my colleagues love it. So very good.
Thank you, Andre. It's now Portugal's turn to ask their next question.
Hello, I'm Andre Mayor. Is it true that you age faster in space?
Okay, I don't know if I understand the question correct.
Andre, the question was, do you age faster in space?
Correct. Okay. Well, actually, you could say you do age a bit faster in space because of the effects of microgravity on the body. Like I said before, we are more or less laying in bed. You don't move your muscles very much. You don't put stress on your bones. There is more radiation as well. So in that sense, we age a bit faster because we get very weak. We get weak bones and we get muscles, and we try everything against that to stay strong. Like you have to do on ground, you absolutely have to do it in space as well. Don't sit on the couch all day. It makes you weak, and your body grows older that way. On the other hand, according to Einstein's relativity theory, the faster you go, the less you age. So, on that sense, we go a little, not measurable bit, we get younger than on Earth.
Thank you, Andre. We're now going back to Switzerland for their next question.
If you could travel anywhere deeper in space other than the Earth orbit, where would you go and why?
Yes, well, I would love to go further. When I started to think about becoming an astronaut, there were people walking on the moon. The last time was in 1972, so it's time people go there again. Maybe one of you. And I would have loved to go to the moon because, it's interesting to see the Earth, even as a very small ball floating there in the blackness of space. I would like to go to Mars, just to go to a new planet. In the future, people will go there, people will live there, will be colonized. And I would love to go to the moon and to Mars. It would be great. But it's up to your generation.
Okay, thank you so much, Andre. I think we have time for just a few more questions. Italy, your question, please.
Hi, I'm Livia and I live in Cary. In space, can you hear anything or is there complete silence?
Well, in space, there's no air, and sound goes through air. So without air or water or something, you cannot hear. So there is no medium. But that would be also very bad to try to hear in space, because if you want to hear, you also probably want to breathe, and there is no air, so you cannot breathe. But inside, like I talk to you now, so inside there is air and you can speak. But outside, no sound.
Thank you very much, Andre. I think we have time for one last question. The Netherlands, your final question, please.
Hi, I'm Nor, and what is your favorite food in the station?
June, did I understand that correctly?
Your favorite food, Andre?
Food. Oh, that's nice. Well, what I like very much is tworog. That is some kind of quark, some kind of yogurt with nuts in it, and that is very tasteful. And what I like very much is fresh fruit. And with the ship that came now recently, we have fresh fruit. That's great.
I've been told this is the final question. Portugal, it's your turn. Andre, this will be the last question.
Hi, I'm Valeria. Could you practice sport in an astronaut suit?
Actually, you can. One of the things that you do before you have to go out to space in a spacesuit, get rid of some nitrogen bubbles, some air bubbles in your blood, and you do that by moving around in the spacesuit. Not really sports. You have to move so the blood flows properly, and you are in a good shape to go out. So there is some sports in the spacesuit. It's an interesting question.
Well, thank you, Andre. I hear we're about to lose the signal, so from ESTEC, we'd like to say thank you. Maybe you'd like to thank the students who followed you today.
Absolutely. I think this is the start of a very challenging period for you, for Mission X the coming weeks. You're going to do a lot of interesting things in competition. I'm very curious of the outcome, and I'm sure you're going to do your very, very best to do all this. And I look forward to talking to you again. I would say again, go Mission X.
Station, this is Houston ACR. That concludes the event. Thank you.
Thank you to all the participants in the Netherlands, Switzerland, Italy, and Portugal. Station, we are now resuming operational audio communications.